If confirmed, you'll come to your post as ambassador to Latvia at a critical time. Russian provocations against NATO are on the rise, as we all know, both by testing our military defenses and spreading propaganda to undermine our military defenses and undermining our free societies. Fortunately, Latvia has set a strong example for our European allies in shoring up their defenses and adapting to new security challenges. And the U.S. remains an important and committed partner in helping them face these threats on the front line of NATO. I look forward to hearing how you will work with our friends in Latvia to advance our security cooperation and further bolster NATO. Ms. Bruce, by now you've probably heard that I'm no fan of the United Nations. I think we both understand that the UN has taken advantage of the American taxpayer for far too long. I hope we will hear from you today on how, as Deputy Ambassador to the UN, you'll work with Ambassador Waltz, who's doing a great job, to reform the organization. In particular, I hope you can help course correct the UN from the horrible anti-Semitic path it is on and return the Security Council to its core mandate of maintaining international peace and security. Ms. Kaplan, since October 7th, we've seen a historic rise in anti-Semitic incidents in the U.S. and the globe, but like you, I believe that everyone, no matter their religious beliefs, deserves to live a life free from discrimination and fear. If confirmed as Special Envoy to monitor and combat anti-Semitism, this will be one of your greatest tasks. I look forward to hearing more about your goals for this position and how we can support you in the fight against anti-Semitism. Mr. Navarro, in 2026, the United States and Peru will celebrate 200 years of diplomatic relations. If confirmed as ambassador, you'll be charged with furthering this strong relationship and managing the challenges. I'm particularly concerned about Chinese malign influence and production of cocaine. I'm glad Secretary Rubio has spoken with the President of Peru to reaffirm the need to dismantle transnational criminal organizations that spearhead the production of drugs. Mr. Navarro, I look forward to hearing your plans to strengthen relations with Peru while pushing back on the issue that and the issues that plague that country. Mr. Nuremberg, as you know, Romania plays a critical role in deterring Russia and will be essential to countering Russian aggression against NATO allies. Romania is a steadfast partner of the United States in Europe, and time and again has played a crucial role in advancing our interests abroad. To keep Romania and our allies closely aligned with the U.S., it is important we use positive reinforcement to incentivize their cooperation. If you're confirmed to be ambassador, you will be responsible for maintaining this strong and beneficial bilateral relationship as broader U.S. policy toward Europe continues to evolve. I'm confident your Romanian counterparts will be eager to deepen our cooperation. Mr. Yaw, your nomination to Assistant Secretary of the Bureau of Arms Control and Non-Proliferation arrives not a moment too soon. We live with an unprecedented level of nuclear threat, but our arms control architecture is outdated and can't meet these challenges. Russia's nuclear triad is moving rapidly towards full modernization. It has suspended its New START obligations, and it continues to test and develop nuclear weapons. Meanwhile, China is racing to nuclear parity with us and refuses to come to the table for talks. With the expiration of New START in February, we must use this chance to lead on any new arms control negotiations. I look forward to hearing your plans to fully commit the U.S. to nuclear deterrence and ensure we can match our adversaries. Thank you again to all of you, and particularly to your families. We know they share in the sacrifices you make to do these jobs, and we deeply, deeply appreciate it. With that, the distinguished ranking member. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Navarro. Last evening, I was with Secretary Rubio at dinner and his wife, and they spoke very highly of you and said to extend their wishes, wish they could be here to support you, but both of them were tied up. But thank you. Thank you for your service. Speaking of the Secretary, Mr. Nuremberg, he, like you, he found out the hard way that sitting over there is a lot different than sitting up on this side, so thanks a lot. I want to talk for a few minutes, Mr. Kaplan, about your work. You know, it really seems like we're slipping backwards on anti-Semitism. I always thought we were at one end of the spectrum and the Palestinians were at the other end of the spectrum. We've all seen the texts that they use teaching their children anti-Semitism. When I first got here, those texts, believe it or not, were paid for with U.S. taxpayer money through UNRWA, which we stopped as quickly as we could. They're still using the text, but they're not paying with our taxpayer money. So they're at one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum I thought was America. After October 7th, I have to tell you, I was nauseated to see these people up in, particularly up in New York area, siding with Hamas. Anybody who has even a thought like that should look at the film that what happened on October 7th. They'd change your mind very quickly. You've got your work cut out for us, but you got a lot of work to do right here. I've heard anti-Semitic speeches on the floor of the House of Representatives, which I never thought I'd see. Your thoughts?
Thank you very much, Senator, for the question. I think if I refer back to my opening statement, it's education. People don't know the history. People don't understand that we have to respect one another. I often urge people to go to the Holocaust Museum so they could understand history. You know, people who would like to say that the Holocaust didn't happen, or people would like to have revisionist history. We have in our midst, in our country, some of the bravest people who in 1944 and 45 liberated death camps, American soldiers, regular American boys from all over America. And the problem is that people don't want to listen to them and hear their stories because they know firsthand in their quest to redeem Europe from the Nazis, they came across the death camps. And they're the best advocates in the world. And people don't want to take the time to understand that these people saw the worst of humanity. And in America, we believe in freedom of expression and freedom of speech, but at the same time, we have to educate people as to what the facts truly are. So you're educated, and we're missing that boat, sir.
Well, thank you. And I throw in completely with your remarks on education. I made reference to what's being taught in the Palestinian schools and the text that they're using. The challenge is going to be, as we go forward, trying to reconcile the situation there, is that it's going to be very difficult to get through that, what has been taught in those schools for generations and what people are living with there. That's got to get turned around, and if it doesn't get turned around, you're going to get the same results in the future. So you've got your work cut out for you. We wish you the best. Ms. Bruce, NATO needs an overhaul really, really badly. Their bureaucracy is incredible. American taxpayers are paying for a lot of it, and it truly has become a bureaucratic institution and lost really the view of its core mission. You know, I think probably the name needs a change. Our nations are not united. Indeed, if anything, as I see the world, we're becoming more and more polarized with us, the democracies, those of us that are free market, free enterprise capitalists, people who support human rights on one side, and on the other, countries that are run by dictators or autocrats and are socialist or communist with zero respect for individual human rights. And we're polarizing. More and more they're coming together, and more our side's coming together. And it's we're drawn together by each of our shared values within our group. And we have different values. And I've always said that the biggest challenge I see from this seat is during the 21st century is figuring out how we're going to occupy the planet together without killing each other, because they're not going to change and we're not going to change. And I really think that we could do better in the United Nations by getting rid of a lot of the bureaucracy and getting back to its core mission of trying to reconcile. And that's just not working. Your thoughts?
Well, yes, sir, and thank you for that. I appreciate it. What I can say, because I know millions of Americans agree with that, that has been a problem. It has become a bureaucracy that has become ineffective, slow, unable to really operate in this dynamic world. But I would suggest, and this is what the world is also seeing, that things can change. And that was shown and is shown every day by President Trump. It is a huge inspiration, not just for me and those of us who know him, but for Americans, having, of course, voted for him again a second time, that they realize that, look, things have not been going well, not only when it came to the economy here, but when it comes to foreign relations and the situation around the world. And I've seen, being a short time already at the UN under my public delegate role and as an advisor to Ambassador Waltz, is that the UN also wants leadership. We saw how they responded to President Trump during the high-level week for the UN General Assembly. They want leadership. He is well-respected, he is inspirational, and he clearly already makes a difference around the world. So I think it is that example that tells me and the 5 other ambassadors, the 4 that you've already confirmed to the U.S. mission to the UN, that he's serious about wanting to make it work. He sent people that he knows will get the job done. We've expressed that. I know certainly Ambassador Waltz has, certainly by doing great work, because it's not a zero-sum game of one or the other. It is about blending reform with the work that we are doing. That's what President Trump does. He's our guiding hand here, and I'm accepting this nomination and hope you'll confirm me, because I believe that we can make the difference.
Well said.